Dad passed, did you feel an urgency to create your own family and to partner?
I haven't thought about it. I mean, I was like pregnant and married within a year of him dying.
I'm just saying.
But I think also there's a part of me that felt when my dad was alive, I didn't really need to find the right man because I had him. That's just as well because you had a string that would not.
I mean, and that's a very valid point. That need was being met. You had a primary male role model.
I was like, that guy's the love of my life.
Yeah. You have a really, wonderful perspective about traumatic experience. I see that you have, distress and you have sadness around losing your dad, but you also, it seems to me, are able to feel that at the same time as having optimism and hope and looking at what the upside is.
I think you have to, otherwise the loss doesn't amount to anything, and I refuse to have that be the case. I refuse to have it just be a loss. It's like, what's the legacy in that?
So, after your dad passed, you suffered with postpartum depression. What was the gift in the postpartum depression for you?
It was, I think there was some part of me that was like, okay, you have a lot of stuff that you haven't dealt with. And when I had Moses, there was like a real, thing there. And I think in a way it was hard, but it was great because that postnatal depression made me, first of all, it opened me up to spirituality. I don't think that I would have been curious and studying and reading. That has all helped me tremendously and opened my mind and eyes beyond what I could have imagined. And it's only through time and through study that you realize
it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I too suffered with pretty severe postpartum depression.
Did you?
Yeah.
You never told me that.
I was too depressed. I was so depressed. I couldn't even talk about it. I was like, I just couldn't function.
Yeah.
I couldn't function, and I couldn't connect to my babies, and it was devastating.
Yeah. I do.
And it's something that people don't really talk about.
Which is a mistake because, we think that it makes us bad mothers or we didn't do it right, and it's like, but we're all in this together, and I never understand why mothers judge other mothers. Like, what do you mean you didn't breastfeed? What do you mean you did this? What do you mean? It's like, can't we all just be on each other's side? It's so hard anyway. Can't we all help each other get through it? And there's this shame attached to it because if you say, I had a baby and I couldn't connect to the baby, it's like,
what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, And I think we feel such shame that
I did.
I did too. I just didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't figure it out. It never occurred to me. My husband actually said, something's wrong. I think you have postnatal depression. I was mortified. No, I don't. And then I started researching what it was and the symptoms, and I was like, oh, yes, I do.
I wish more people were honest about it, because then certainly someone like me would have had places to look to and women to look to.
Yeah.
It would have been more in my frame of reference.
Yeah.
As opposed to something that was kind of hidden and shameful.
That's why I talk about it, because even the awareness of it started to diminish it, because I didn't feel like I'm dying or I'm crazy, period. I was like, oh, this is a thing. This is a real thing. And these are the symptoms, and I have them all. And
what were those symptoms for you?
It was just kind of an inability to cope, and I couldn't connect with my son the way that I had with my daughter, and I couldn't understand why. I couldn't connect to anyone. It was like I felt like a zombie. I felt very detached.
I think I still have a bit of it. No, I'm serious.
No,